Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. As always, my name is Goliath, like you know, and I'm an artist, author, creator, mystic, and this is my channel. So first off the bat, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do apologize for the quality of this video. I am currently driving in my car. It is on hands-free, and I'm a busy man. I live a busy life. I am a very busy little witch. I'm always doing things. I've got something bubbling away, and then that happens, and then something else happens. I'm always busy. So let's just put it that way. I am very time poor. So when I have a minute and I have a second, I like to do my videos, and whether I'm doing a video on astrology or psychology or something like that. I have a wide range of interests in the occult and in, just day-to-day human affairs. As I am human, just like everyone else, we're bound to the human form. And that brings me to the topic of today's quick video, which is human form. Can we change it? In relation to magic, in relation to people wanting to change something about themselves. Now, I have done a video on beauty magic before, or should I say more to the point, the psychology of how this actually works. And this is going to be a very blunt video. It's going to come straight to the point. I like to get straight to the point. I get a lot of people messaging me from time to time, and I think more now than ever, we are living in such a fast-paced and consumer-based society where we're all kind of consuming each other. Everyone wants to project their best self forward all the time. Looking good, lots of different filters and photoshops and dyeing their hair blondes and reds and lots of makeup and lots of all of this type of fillers and Botox and microdermabrasion. And in terms of the beauty industry, it just goes on and on and on. But the real truth of it is, and I know this is going to sound hard to hear, the real beauty, what is beauty? Beauty is your soul's astral light. We have a lot of people out there that are aesthetically attractive, but their soul is dark as fuck, or they have lack of soul, or they also, they're not in tune with their higher self, or they just don't have that personality. So what I want to say first off on the topic of this video is confidence and self-awareness and self-love is the real power of beauty. So people fall in love between the eyes, and they fall in lust between the legs, as we know. We also know that we can't prolong something or sustain something for a prolonged period of time if it isn't real. And all things must refer or revert back to their default setting. That's why I say it's better just to be yourself, because the soon as you do get back to being yourself, the sooner you can actually build authentic relationships with other people, and they can get to see who you really are, and then you can see who they really are if they're being authentic with you, and then you can have some level of real relationship, rather than building something that is not real because it can't last. And of course it doesn't, and then it falls down, and then you've kind of wasted time and you have to kind of start again. So for a lot of people, it's a lot of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start type of thing. But in terms of today's society and social media and capitalism and consumerism, we're all kind of, like I mentioned, putting our best foot forward. We all want to be presentable in a way that we think others will see us in the best light. It's not very often that we would see a person, taking a video or a photograph of themselves with there's snot coming out of their nose and they're going through a breakup or they've just lost a family member. We're not going to see that. We're kind of socially taught to be polite and basically lie. When someone asks you, are you okay? They don't really give a fuck about how you feel. Most people are not even going to be remotely equipped to help you, even if you weren't okay. They just want to hear, I'm good, how are you? And then we get on with the day, or we just keep it pleasant. But the truth of it really is that we're all kind of conditioned socially to interface with each other in a way that is completely inauthentic. That can be very prevalent in the concept of makeup, where makeup is said, the point of it is to enhance your features and hide your flaws. But yes, we know how long can that really last. Eventually, people will see the darker aspects of our personalities. They will see sometimes our short temper. They will see lack of patience, lack of love, lack of self-love. But the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. And the quality of your relationships and the depth of those relationships is completely proportionate to the level of self-awareness and level of depth and self-love that you have within yourself. So when it comes to magic and this topic, there is no spell or incantation or bonding with any type of level of entity for whatever reason, and I don't care what it is, that's your prerogative, that's your business, but the magical world can only go so far. Okay, so things like changing things about yourself, like eye color, facial shapes, or anything to do with an aspect of yourself that is embedded in your DNA, and yes, I'm saying DNA, that can't be changed. Obviously, it can't be changed. All right, so I'm just saying that off the bat. You can put in contacts to make your eyes a different color, but if your eyes are brown, they will always be brown. What we have to do is work with what we have and work on our self love and our self understanding to embody the parts of us that we necessarily don't find attractive about ourselves. For example, if you were trying to change your eye color, what is it about having brown eyes that gets you upset? What is it about brown eyes that makes you want to have green eyes? Is it your body's fault that you have brown eyes? Or is it just that you don't like brown eyes for whatever reason? So a big part of self-love is self-acceptance, accepting what is. Now, it is said, not just in psychology, but in the spiritual world, that the main cause of suffering and depression is that you are not accepting something. You want something in a very specific way, and it isn't so. Therefore, you are frustrated. You're knocking on the door of something that isn't opening, and it never will open for you. But you have to have the curiosity and self-discipline to know that what you don't get today, you can get tomorrow, but you will not get it if you don't accept that this time, phase, person, or space has come to the end of its conclusion, or accepting what you are born with. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you what a woman is. I'm not even going to tell you that what a ridiculous statement or what a ridiculous question to ask someone. Obviously, a woman is a biological woman. A trans person is someone, hence the word trans. They're transitioning into the archetype or the paradigm of a female that they are trying to achieve. Will they ever be female? No. Okay, so this whole concept where form follows function, there is truth in that. Of course there is. And of course, in the Hermetic principles, when we talk about feminine energy, masculine energy, what we're attracted to, what we're not attracted to, it all comes into play. Masculine energy is an active force that is protective, it is very direct, it's very logical, and it is bad. It's a badass energy. That's masculine energy. Women are attracted to men psychologically Most women are attracted to people or men that are able to be that have a monster within them. This makes them dangerous. They are attracted to that because they know that he can keep other monsters at bay if need be. Okay? And men, generally in the masculine energy and the effeminate energy, what they're attracted to is more of a passive and receptive and nurturing energy. All of these forces are forces of nature. And as humans, we like to come along and play God and make AI and play around and fuck around with, the law of identity. But how far can that really go? Okay. Now, I'm not going to get too political or kind of, socio-economical, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. If you subscribe to this type of woke ideology, just shut up, just fuck off. Okay. It's not real. Like I have said to you before, it's very difficult to prolong something that isn't real. So acceptance of what something is the best course of action. Believe me, I have I've been there and I understand. Okay, I get it. But humans, we can't play God. So a big part of understanding our own beauty is that when we vibrate energetically in a level within ourselves where we are loving and accepting of who we are and the divinity of who we are, the expression of the source that we are, that's when we have real, actual beauty. Have you ever been around a person that just lights up the room? Yeah, you'll often find that those types of people are just really secure and happy within themselves. Okay, they're not jealous, they're not angry people. Have you ever come across we come across people all the time that are very bitter and full of hatred, self-hatred and envy of others? They're not happy within themselves. Obviously, they're not going to translate a projection of self-love if they're not loving, okay? Because love is the highest vibration. A lie or a falsehood is obviously not going to vibrate as high as truth, and truth is the highest vibration. We can distort truth, we can deny truth, we can project truth into some other form, but truth is the highest vibration, okay? And it is the only thing that can set us free from our own downfall. But I think that ship is really kind of set sail when it comes to humans. So what I would say is this is a journey, and we have to also accept that socially we are programmed to kind of look in the mirror and only see the flaws. We're not really looking at the parts of us that are beautiful. We're not looking at the parts of us that we like. We're kind of meant to look at parts of ourselves with disgust. If you've had children, if you're a woman and you've had babies, well, then your body has done something quite incredible and quite just off the charts, like having a baby. It's going to change the way you look, but also accepting all of the scars, all of the things that encompass that change, that is life, and acceptance of what is key to self-love. Okay, I'm kind of not going too direct with this, but I'm keeping it pretty open here, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So acceptance of what we are and the journey of what we are is the truth. Okay, that's the ultimate truth. Aging is a natural process that we all go through. Okay, no one is going to be exempt from this. Our cells are changing, our bodies are changing, our DNA is breaking down. All things have a time, a space and a place, a rise and a fall, and that's the natural order of life. So accepting that you're not in your 20s, accepting that you don't have the energy that you had in your 20s, acceptance that you don't have the social capital that you had when you were younger. This is all part of acceptance. The longer and the harder that we hold on to things, the more suffering it creates for us in terms of the projections of all of the different versions that we go through physically and spiritually as we go through life and evolve. You know, we came here to experience this whole spectrum. We experience love, we experience hatred, we experience jealousy, we experience all of these, we experience fear and loss and grief. It's all a part of life. Okay, disassociation from reality can only go so far, and eventually it will undo you. And trust me, I have seen so many people that live in these little bubbles that they've created. They hate change. They won't change. They will not be flexible. I've said it once and I'll say it again. What happens to things that don't bend? Okay. So acceptance that life has phases, we go through phases, and understanding that as soon as we can accept where we're at, say if you're on a map and you are on a journey, you're looking at that map and you've got a destination. In order for you to move on that map, you need to know where, and you need to be able to see and be willing to see where you are on that map right now in order to move on the map on your journey. Okay, so self-awareness is key. And it is said that spirituality is mastery of self. Okay, so looking at the parts of ourselves that we don't like, standing naked in front of a mirror and really owning who we are and what we are. Okay, so I hope this has been an insightful video. I just wanted to jump on quickly. The truth of beauty is within self, love, self-acceptance, self-understanding. Fighting this will only, it's like holding onto something really tight. It's just going to cut the shit out of your hand. All right? Illusions are lovely. We live in a world full of illusions, but we must understand that life has a whole spectrum and we go through so many different phases and stages, and it's time to let go. Perhaps it is time to accept where you're at, accept that this phase or season with someone has come to its conclusion, and you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be nasty about it. You just have to accept that it's not even up for debate. That's just where it's at. All right. So I will leave it here. I hope that you found this video insightful and been able to read between the lines. The truth about beauty is acceptance of self, working on your gifts, finding out who you are and working with what you have and doing what you can from where you are. Wishing for something to change isn't going to happen, not in the way that you think it is. This isn't TV. Magic isn't a quick fix. Okay, so we are all bound to the physical form, okay, of atoms, cells, and that can be manipulated with glamour to a certain point, but at some point it can only go so far. The truth of the soul and the spirit is the real truth. So lots of love. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I will leave it here. I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye, bye, bye.